what I'd like to do now is we're going to do EFT on another issue. It's called breathing constriction. This is one of the things I first introduced at our advanced tapes, Steps Towards Becoming the Ultimate Therapist, because you saw when I was dealing up here with Beth, she did this, this sigh. Okay? That gave me the idea, and it's really not a brand new idea by any means, that somebody's ability to breathe, even through one's nose, has something to do with their emotional issues. So I thought, well, you know, what would happen if there's somebody that we're really having a hard time even finding out what their issues are? They're not able to articulate them, they're repressed or something like that. Since I am quite aware that emotional issues and physical issues are linked, why don't I manufacture or find a physical issue that I might be able to deal with that they're not even aware of? And often that's in one's breath, the ability to take in a deep breath. There's a constriction in it that we can tap for, and not everybody has this, so it's not useful for everybody across the board. Everybody in the room will not have this constriction we're talking about, but a number are likely to have it, okay? So what I do is I have people take in a few deep breaths. That's sort of like to stretch the lungs out, you know, so they get used to being stretched, so we're not, any change we see isn't because of this stretching effect. So we do that a little bit first, and then I'm going to have you do this, by the way, and then I have you take a deep breath after you've gotten some stretching done, and rank it on a scale of 0 to 10 about how deep that would be, and 10 being your intuition about how deep you really could make it. Do you really get to a 10, or do you fall short to an 8 or a 7 or a 6 or whatever? And then we'll just start tapping on breathing constriction, and then we'll go again. Now, or we'll assess again on a 0 to 10 scale where it is. Where this can really be useful is as you're dealing with somebody, chances are, oftentimes, at least I find, otherwise undiscovered emotional issues start to show up. They come out of their face. Well, I was thinking when I was doing that, I'm remembering this time, you know, and then off we go. Okay? So I'm going to take you through that. We're going to do some EFT on it. It teaches you EFT as well as this other little technique, and you get to experience this for yourself. Now, here's what we do. The first thing we want to do is to kind of stretch our lungs out, so any difference we get from tapping isn't because we're just stretching our lungs. So anyway, what you want to do is take as deep a breath as you can, like this. And then just kind of let it go. Okay, and we don't need to hyperventilate here or anything, so we just kind of let a moment or two go by. If you do hyperventilate, by the way, just don't do this process here, because I don't know where everybody is on that. But let's try it again. And then one more. Okay, that typically gets the stretching out of the way, but what I'd like to do now in a moment is we're going to let things subside a minute, but I'm going to have you take another deep breath. But this time, as I said before, what I want you to do is evaluate that breath on a 0 to 10 scale. And nobody's probably ever asked you to do this before, so you're going to have to just guess at it, okay? Do your best with it. But I had this take this deep breath, and what I'd like to have you do is put down a number that would be how close you are to a 10, which is 10 as being absolute, complete, free, full breath, okay? You may never have tried this and tried to evaluate it before, so again, it might be a little strange to you, but do your best, okay? This number you're going to put down, by the way, is not as important as the next number, which will be whatever you feel after we do some EFT, because by comparison to whatever number you write down this time, that other number will tell you something. So, if we may, let's take our deep breath and evaluate on a scale of 0 to 10 how full that breath really is, and take as deep a breath as you can. Ready? Ready? Okay, write a number down. Whatever you estimate that to be. What'd you write down? 8? 9? 9?
6. 7.
6? 8? 8? 8.5, okay? Really good. 7, okay. It's a 7. What might it have been? Would it still have been a 7 if we hadn't done our thing?
Oh, no, I think it wouldn't have been as good.
It wouldn't have been, okay. So perhaps whatever we did is tending to hold a little bit for you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. 6, 6, 6, 9, 9,
6. 9.
6, 7, 6, 6, 7, 4, 4. Okay. 7, 9, 8, 4, 9, 8. Okay, 4. Okay. Meaning you had a hard time getting a full breath. Okay, all right. Okay. Is there a physical reason you know of for it? You don't know if there's one or not? Okay. You know there is not one?
Well, I don't know of one.
You don't know of one. Okay. Is there a physical reason for your... Okay. That you know of, anyway? No. Okay. All right, great. Okay, now we're going to do EFT just on the breath constriction, okay? And I'm going to do a little bit of a shortcut on it. We've already thrown some of these shortcuts out, but we're going to do that. Okay, right here. Even though I have this breathing constriction, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, breathing constriction. 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 Okay. That's all we're going to do for the moment. We're now going to take a deep breath, and this time you want to evaluate again how that constriction is compared to the other number. You want to write that down, okay? You ready? Okay. Okay, write down whatever number you had. Chris, what was your number? Was it still a 4? It's an 8 now. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Still a 4? A 7. Okay. Were you aware of an emotional issue coming up? You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but...
No, I don't think there was an emotional issue. I think the logical explanation for me was simply that I had to talk and move and tap and breathe in order to do that. It forced me a little bit to breathe more deeply.
Okay, so by doing all this, you had to talk and...
I had to talk, and I had to do the affirmations, and I had to tap, and I had to move, so I think it made my breathing made it fuller.
Okay, let me suggest an alternative to you. And by the way, I don't know who's right. You're the one inside you, okay? I'm just giving you my experience here. My guess is that the tapping is what released some kind of an emotional issue, even though you may not be aware of it. Okay, you don't have to be aware of it, which then allows you to breathe more fully. There are plenty of times, you have been for most of the afternoon tapping and yelling and everything else, have you not? You know, for the physical stuff? Okay.
Yes.
And yet when we got to the first breath, it was still a 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then we did another round or two, and so your take on it, your logical take, was that all that other activity contributed to the going from a 4 to a 7.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm not discounting your... I think you are accurate in your interpretation. What I was saying was I'm not aware of any emotional issue or change.
And I don't even know if I'm aware of my... So you have to be careful. I don't want to get in anybody else's head because I don't know what goes on within you. I have no idea. You and I have never met before. All I really do is overlay my experience on what you're talking about, okay? Let me start over here again. You went from what to what, breathing-wise?
8 to 9.
8 to 9.
8 to 9.5.
8 to 9.5.
9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Basically the same.
Basically 9 to 9, right? Something like okay.
6 to 9.
6 to 9. Okay.
7 to 9.
7 to
7 to 9.
to 9. I thought you said 7 to none. I was going to say, did you die?
9 to 9.
9 to 9.
9,
9 9.
6, 7.
6 7.
8,
8 9.
9 to 9.
9 to 9.
6 to 8, but my vision as well.
Your vision's better as well. 6 to 8, but your vision's better.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
7 and 9.
7 to 9. Did anybody here notice an emotional issue come up? I guess not. Okay. Weird group. 6 to 9. 6 to 9. Now that's an interesting. I mean, what do you attribute that to? I know we tapped and all that, but
I don't know. Those were the numbers that came to my mind.
okay. All right.
Good this was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. What'd you?
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
My headache is almost gone. My sinuses started to drain, and there was a pressure down here at 6 that's not there anymore.
Oh, side effects?
Sure.
Well, he's laughing and I'm laughing, but it's very serious. You do this with frequency, and people will have these little side effect changes. Go ahead, Rachel.
7 to 8.
7 to 8. Okay, we talked about it. Okay, go ahead.
7 to 9.
7 to 9. 9 to 9.
8 to 10.
8 to 10. We have a hand for our only 10. You talked to you. Okay.
9 to 10.
9 to 10.
8 to 10, but I actually could feel, it was like I went up on a scale. I mean, my shoulders, everything, just the way I breathe.
Just the way you breathe.
Just a greater space.
Yeah.
Felt like I could go from 8 to 14.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Good.
6 to 8, and my eyes are much better.
6 to 8, and your eyes are better. How many? Who else had better eyesight? As you can tell. Let me just count some number. 1, 2, 3. Raise your hands high. 4, 5, 6, 10 people or so. That's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't heard that one before. Okay. All right. Good. Well, that's EFT on breathing constriction.